What's up, guys? Gonna show you just a quick video of my metal stock cutting setup. I don't do a ton of metal work, but because I'm not a good welder, I don't like filling in gaps. I wanted something that would cut cleanly, definitely not have to spend a whole ton of money. You know, I had one of the big 12-inch cutting disc chop saws, but it just had a lot of wobble. It wasn't, a high dollar one, so I can't remember how much this Ryobi 7¼ inch chop saw, hard miter saw was. I'll look it up and post that in the description. But I'm running the 7¼ inch Diablo Steel Demon cermet and carbide blade. It's made for metal and stainless steel. Anyway, it's been great. It gives me super clean cuts. Let's take a look. So, as you can see, it's a really quick cut. In fact, after talking with Diablo customer support, at one point they instructed that it really should be done fairly quickly. You don't want to force it, but at the same time, you don't want to go too slow as it creates too much heat. But yeah, it gives super clean cuts. I was really happy with this when I first got it and still am. One thing about this blade that is I wouldn't call it a catastrophic flaw or anything, but it is something to be aware of because it will ruin your blade. I found out from experience. However, let me just go ahead and say real quick, Diablo blades customer service has been phenomenal. When I faced this issue, I reached out to Diablo just to let them know I wasn't looking for any kind of compensation. I think they make good products. I just wanted them to know, hey, here's one flaw in this. Maybe you can talk to your research and development, product support, whatever. And they said, hey, tell us exactly what happened. We want to figure this out. And in the meantime, we want to send you a free blade. And they did. So great product support. But let's look at what I found that you need to be aware of if you get this blade. Okay, so the problem I ran into before, what do you do? Look at those nice clean edges. But what do you do when you get, like, let's say you miscut, you've got a little bit off, and you'd really like to have these exact. I'm more of a woodworker than a metal worker. Actual metal workers probably have a plan for this, or way better welders or whatever. But as a woodworker, I would try to take like a half a blade's width off of this, and I found out you cannot do that with this blade. All right, I'm not sure you can see that, but let's say you wanted half of your blade to cut, like you're just cutting a sliver, right? Half your blade on the material, half your blade hanging off. In woodworking, that's not a big deal. But let's say you want to do that with this square tubing. What I found is it immediately impairs this blade. And I'm not talking about like, it just dulls it. I mean, it just hardly won't cut after that. So if you're trying to take, a half a blade's width off, just, not a full, I think these blades, 1/16 of an inch cut here, kerf, 1/16 of an inch kerf. If you're wanting to take a 32nd off, you need to find another way to do it. Don't do it with the saw blade. I think what happens is, come on, focus. Oh, let's see. There we go. So what happens is on that tooth, I guess the heat on one side from the cut just wears it down, and so the other side, I don't know. I don't know the science behind it. It's starting to sound really dumb, but I do know that it'll ruin a blade really fast. So if you want to take, like a 32nd of an inch off, so you have really nice tight joints, don't do it with the blade. Don't have half your blade on the material and half your blade hanging off to get that little sliver, because it will ruin the blade. Other than that, however, man, it's a fantastic setup. It cuts very cleanly, very quickly. It doesn't produce a ton of heat. dust that it produces really isn't dust. It's like little sliver or chips really, and they're a lot easier to clean up. It doesn't give a lot of metal dust floating around. It gets on everything. Okay, so we got the frame sitting there. The legs are just tack welded on, but I thought I would show you this before we close out the video. So these are not welded together. They're literally just sitting on the tabletop. I just cut them with the Ryobi 7 1/4 sliding miter saw and the Diablo Steel Demon cermet and carbide blade. So they're, again, these are not being held together by anything. These are literally just pushed up to each other. This is how clean the cuts are. I can't remember if I tweaked that saw or not, you know, to get it dialed in. I think it was just right out of the box though. I mean, look at that. That's so clean. You can see here, you know, it's really nice. But I will probably take a file. I'm gonna clamp, you know, individually these down and take a file and just chamfer this just a little bit, just to give it a little bite, because I'm using this little Harbor Freight titanium flux core welder. So definitely not, you know, heavy duty or anything, but just to give me, you know, some voids to fill in, give it a little meat. I'm gonna put an angle or a chamfer on that. But man, I'm so happy with this little Ryobi and Diablo combo. Really, really nice. So anyway, I hope this helps, guys.